Oh, so thank you, General. I'd like to commend the South African government, the way it has handled the crisis. It's amazing, the coordination. What worries me, though, is that we are focusing on firefighting, and in the mainstream media, in the Twitters and social media of this world, there is no South African dream or African dream that we are actually talking about, even from an AU perspective, that post-COVID, this is how we're going to position ourselves in the global value chain. Because you find that crises like the bubonic plague or the plague of 1918 or World War, the most entrepreneurial nations were the ones that came out victorious afterwards. So what is our dream? Where do we want to play in the value chain? Are we already projecting, and are we selling these ideas to the general man on the street such that we know that post-COVID, 25 years from now, we are going to be like this? So that part, I don't know if it's something that you are having maybe high-level discussions in your circles.
We have not yet started that debate, but I'm impressed with the coordination which is being done by President Ramaphosa in his capacity as chairperson of AU. I think, but his coordination is mainly limited to deal with coronavirus. But I foresee, as I've said earlier on, that we need to close ranks in the continent and see in what way can we make sure that our raw material is processed from within the continent. Let us export finished products to outside the country rather than taking the raw material to these countries. And when we need the services for the same material, you have to pay dearly. I mean, look at this coronavirus when it started in China. Everything in this continent, almost everything comes from China. So are we going to again give them another chance? No.
So before Corona, you find that the world was already changing, buoyed by technological changes, basically. But obviously, Corona has accelerated the change, the technological change. Now we are Skyping, we are doing Zoom, everything is virtual now, basically. But you find that we are still where our forefathers were, where the means of production, we don't own the means of production, because the means of production in the fourth industrial revolution are the technological infrastructure like what Cisco has, your Facebook, your what. Right now, what the platforms we're using, we've got our apps, we've got our solutions, but everything is sitting on the top layer. So that means that we are still subservient to the same people. So that revolution, is it really benefited, or is it going to benefit Africa? Are we going to really get the dividends from this particular trajectory that we're taking?
It's a sorry state of affairs, because even the gadgets we are using, the end beneficiary to it are the manufacturers of it. And when you try to master their technology, they are going to change the direction and come up with another thing. So it's a sorry state of affairs for an African continent. And it's going to take us some time. But if we look inwards and turn inwards and say, what kind of education system do we have? And what kind of support we would need from the governments to develop our own technology so that we can compete internationally. But for now, we are still going to be the slaves of these developed countries, unfortunately.